Hey guys. Okay, I'm gonna look this up real quick. Okay, I wanted to check in. I'm gonna show you some of my plants here. Kind of outside. I felt like tea. So one of my favorite teas is made from Dragonhead. And this, I don't know if you can see it. I've been growing it in a pot for about a month now. This is Dragonhead, more commonly known as Moldavian Balm. When you make it into a tea, it looks like a green tea, but it has the flavor of a black tea, which I really like. And it's really good for if you have the cold or flu. It's a great herb tea for that. I've used it before and it pretty much knocked it out in like 24 hours. So I thought I would cut off a little bit of this today and show you kind of what I do with it. If I'm getting this right, I think so. I don't have a phone like everybody else does. I have to walk around with a laptop, so that's why things are a little awkward. So the best time to kind of harvest, you can harvest this almost daily, but the best time to do it is before it blooms. It blooms these really pretty small little purple flowers, and that's why they call it Dragonhead, is because the flowers are the shape of like the head of a toothed dragon. And they're just really tiny. They're really pretty. But we're going to take some of this today. And I just usually snip a little bit off. I'm going to put that down there. This is a taller one. Take a little bit there. Thank you, my pretty little plants. And with any plant, I've always kind of, oh gosh, I can smell it already. That smells great. With any plant, even if I'm harvesting in the wild, I only take maybe a quarter or a third and leave the rest. There's no need to completely, wipe out what you're harvesting. That way, it'll always be there. And it'll be there for the other little critters that enjoy it. So I've taken a little bit here, and what I'm going to do, let me sit this down. I'll get here on the ground so I can show you what I'm doing, because I can't see. Okay, get back over here. Okay, so I have my little teapot here, and I never ever boil anything. If you want to ruin something, boil it. I always if you're making a tea, I always let it, you can go ahead and heat up your water ahead of time and then put your tea or herbs in there and let them steep. That is the best way to do it. That way you're getting all the benefits of the tea. You're not killing anything off by the boiling process. With my little teapot here, it already has, that's kind of cool. I love it. If you ever want to make me happy, get me a teapot or a stone tumbler. We'll get into that later. But yeah, I love teapots. Teapots. So this is what will hold your tea or your herbs, if that's what you're doing. And so I'm going to just stick these right down in there. And this is really, and you're like, oh gosh, why didn't you dry that before? This is actually, I always get my seeds from Horizon. Well, I don't think they're called Horizon herbs anymore. They're out of Oregon. And I think they're called medicinal, strictly medicinal or something like that. I always get my seeds from them, especially when it comes to the Dragonhead. And they actually recommended that it was better, this particular type is actually better fresh than it is dried. And so I've tried it both ways, and I think they're right. I really prefer the fresh herb better. So I'll put that in there and close that. And then I'm going to stick this. I can line it up, right? Where did my thingy go? Where are you at? Well, sometimes I say I like this. We'll see. Sometimes I just don't get things lined up quite right. Here we go. All right. And we will secure that on. It kind of flips and secures so everything stays in place. And now before I do that, it's probably best to fit through the deal. And I'm dropping stuff. Excuse me one moment while I recover my parts. Anyway, so flip that back on there, and I'm going to, so everything's in there, my lid's there. I'm going to set that on there, and my herb is going to go into the water. And what I'm going to do with this, I am going to set it out. Now, if you don't have something that holds the herb, you know, you can put it directly in the water and let it set out and then just strain it out when it's done. But I'm going to actually let this sit out in the sun for a while, and just kind of like making sun tea, and let the sun heat up my water. I didn't start out with hot water, and it should be turning a pretty light green color here within an hour or two, and it will be ready. So hope you enjoy that. If you have any questions, you know, type me something. And yeah, I think maybe here in a day or so we may go ahead and check out something else and talk about that. Talk to you later. Bye.